Hey, True Believers, Englentine here, and you may have noticed it's Saturday night and there's no comic book auction. Just 9:30 England Standard Time. Morania, I was waiting for Breen, and he said he was going to come on. He didn't come on. So anyway, what the heck? Are you killing a cat over there? No worries, no worries. Here with Jimmy. How you doing, man?
Not too bad.
All right.
Not too bad at all.
So, yeah, I'm not doing obviously not doing an auction this week. We just aren't set up for it over at the house, and I don't really have anything here. So it's in two different places. So I figured let's just do a live stream, and it's not going to be a 7-hour live stream, but we do have at least one thing I found to talk about, and that's EVE viewing versus Comicsgate. I thought that was kind of kooky. Why is this being brought up now? That's something. It's like I
haven't heard anything about this.
Well, yeah, there's an article in the New York Times where she brings it up, and I remember just not too long ago I was named as a white supremacist in an article along with others, by the way. And it seems like the past is coming back. And I'm wondering why. I have to ask the question: why are they bringing all that stuff back up now? And I'm wondering if it's because drama sells. You know, okay, we're doing a comic book. We want to get the drama in. That way, people are paying attention. Of course, they make themselves out to be the victim, not really even paying attention to anything anybody's saying or along those lines. But that's the main question. I mean, granted, we're going to go over what they actually say, but when I heard about this, I was like, why? Like, why now? Why bring up the Comicsgate thing now? Because it's not what it was. It hadn't been for a long time.
This was 2 days ago that this came out. I'm looking at it right here. This is the same day as the trial of Chauvin from George Floyd. So I think they're just trying to like get all their bases down.
Maybe that's it, but that would be something if it was not attached to the Comicsgate thing. That's what it really has me wondering what's going on. Now, if you guys don't know about it, because some people don't realize the history of the whole Comicsgate movement, it started off as a customer revolt. Basically, a whole bunch of like-minded YouTubers, including myself, got together, and we kind of created a base. We found out that there were a whole bunch of people who felt the same way we did about the woke nonsense that's being put into comic books these days. And we started speaking out about it. And it went along for all right for a while, but then, of course, as everything happens, you get your trolls, and then everything kind of falls apart because drama between everybody starts going on. And then EVS came in, kind of took over and made it the animal that it is now. But it is weird that what we used to do, and mind you, this thing got weird. There were like murder accusations. We had news people from all over because Milo Yiannopoulos mentioned this. You had people act like they were people they were not. And it was a bizarre time. I remember telling Weaponized Nerd Rage that this is way too freaking, way too much James Bond for a bunch of comic book YouTube channels. You know, it was really, really weird. Let's see.
I think I think a little bit of it was. I'm not a big fan of Comicsgate, but when it first came out, apparently it was just like a customer movement, or so I hear.
Yeah, it was a customer revolt kind of thing. We moved the needle. Of course, DNC was the larger channel of all of us, and he created the moving the needle thing. It was only just to show people that, hey, we are the ones that are buying your comics. Maybe listen to your readers. Going ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
And I just think the whole thing is that it's a group, and whenever people start to get in a group and they start to have like this sort of same thought as everyone else in the group, they get really passionate about it, and anyone who disagrees with it, they get even more passionate about it. So I think it was just like everyone took it to the next level, and that caused a lot of problems.
Yeah, the four originals were myself, Doug Ernst, Captain Cummings, and DNC. And we always kind of joked in the backstage how you have different levels of intensity. Me and Doug were the moderates of the group. Captain Cummings would jump into any fight just feet first or even start one. It was actually a very interesting, very fun time, and everybody did. We were a group. It was a lot of fun, just being able to talk to people who were very much on the same wavelength as you. But once again, yeah, that does happen where drama. What I found out happened. There was a time where Yellow Flash just went off on me for a couple of weeks, and I found out it's because somebody was going over. I talked to. What was his name?
NERDROTIC?
Umbrella guy, right? Yeah, Umbrella guy. I talked to him, and he said that somebody was saying that I was saying stuff about him, and I wasn't. I mean, occasionally, like, I do tell a joke or something like that, but this guy was going up. Turns out this dude was actually just doing it to start fires. And so you got that kind of stuff as well. And that just happens with any old channel also, because if you'll find if somebody's really a fan of someone, and if you say you don't like them or you insult them in some way, even if it's playful, they'll get mad, because if they like them and you said that about them, then what does that mean about, and they just take it too seriously. Hello to Eric Breen. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I know you're getting up there, but
I'm up. Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not 9:30.
It's 9:41. Wait, what time is it?
It's 9 o'clock now.
The fuck is wrong with my clock? I swear to God, my computer clock right here says 9:41.
I told you, like, when we first, like, before we started, it was about 5:45 in Pacific Standard Time. So that means it would be like around 8:45.
My computer clock right here is saying 9:41.
So England Standard Time is now whatever the fuck time you say it is.
You know what? We've been going in that direction anyway, Eric. So why don't we just make it? I don't know. I'm sorry, man. That explains why I was like, "Fuck." Eric knew it was 9:30. The fucking hell's wrong with his late ass?
That's why I saw the time, and you posted in the chat the link already. I was like, "What?"
Have I been freely dropping f-bombs? Did I say the f word a lot right there? I want to avoid that kind of thing, but dang, I don't remember if I did. Good to see you, to Tahilium. Let's see, Ara Glenian is in the house. How do you do? Let's see, my tinfoil ear says Disney has been leading a smear campaign on the down low. Dragon Ball saying let's all play Friday the 13th game together. Hey, if I would not mind doing that, actually. I've really never played it. I've got it because of what you call it, that Xbox Game Pass or something like that. Yeah. Let's see. But I need to get headphones so I can actually hear what everybody's saying. Instead of actually forming well, hold on just a second. Let me get to, unfortunately, no auction tonight, Snatch. I'm just not set up for it. If you guys haven't noticed, this is the room without the big shelf of books behind me. I am in damn near, except for a whole bunch of trash on the floor we need to clean up, I'm in a nearly empty room.
Did you move? Is that what I heard?
Yeah. We're the last thing I moved was the computer. I actually, on my thing, I said, "Hey, I'll be working on videos." Well, I can't get online. No, I'm not. I'm going to be moving, and then I'm going to be healing.
Jimmy, either he moved or he's been robbed, and he's taking it very well.
Yes, right. If all of my trade paperbacks had been stolen, I wouldn't take that well. One thing I'd be like, son of a, if they're going to be gone, I could sell them. What's up?
Did you move houses or just rooms?
I didn't move a house. I'm moving to a house. I could barely move the couch.
I understood what you said, Jimmy.
Thank you. Yes, I'm moving. We're moving to another house and another part kind of attached to Orlando, but it's not Orlando. Let's see. Mainly CG is just fun. This comic pro because, says K Blonde. If I get into the history of it, that pisses people off, and in 5 seconds we'll have a whole bunch of them going, well, you and a bunch of anyway. Hey guys, good night or evening. Still high off the MK movie, says MK. I hope you liked it. I've been hearing bad things, so I hope you enjoyed it though. I'm debating having ice cream myself, says Moranius. Oh, you know what? I found this ice cream. I swear to gosh, it's mango sherbet mixed with coconut ice cream and habanero peppers.
And
it is good.
I was going to have some ice cream between 9 and 9:30.
Yeah. Okay, so Aloise is saying Ironheart writer. Yeah, we're going to get to that in just a touch. I wanted to do the history of Comicsgate, tell you a little bit about my association with it, because I think at this point, nobody even freaking knows I had anything to do with it. And granted, let's face it, as far as everything was concerned, I was probably low man on the Comicsgate totem pole when you consider DNC, Captain Cummings and Doug. For a while, Doug and I were neck and neck, and I actually had more subs than Doug at a certain point, but he always maintained a lot more respectability than I did. So I always considered I was on the bottom rung of that particular totem pole. Let's see. Skip instead of actually farming things through honest work and focus on comics, but drama sells. That did happen quite a bit, by the way. The whole drama of it. I got caught in it. I'm not saying I'm better or I put myself above everybody. I did the drama thing myself. Let's see. I'm glad you're fine with it because it's stuff. What? I don't know what that's going on there. Tim Follier says Disney is doing probably through private investigators hired by Disney law firms and for deniability. That's what Robert says. The Breeding Machine, he's lean, not mean, and his comics are clean. Are you shitting me? Have you seen his comic? He doesn't mind what condition they're in, so long as he's just got it.
But Skip couldn't make that rhyme.
Okay, yeah.
No, I think he was talking about how good they are. I mean, like they're clean.
Yeah. It would be.
Did you kids change the language again?
I don't know what he's talking about.
No, clean means like good or like or sick or something like that.
And this guy says that's okay. We don't respect you. Thank you. I know that. I tell Gail all the time. She's more popular on my channel than I am, and so is the fucking bird. That's the big problem.
The bird is not there anymore, which is nice.
I can't believe Captain Cummings had a sizable following. He's been really weird since I followed him. I haven't paid attention to what's been going. Like he used to. He came back for a little bit, says he was going to stay out of all the drama, and then just jumped right in and then disappeared again. So I was like, okay, I'm done. And God bless him. I hope he's very successful in all of his endeavors. I'm not saying anything bad about the man. He was, for all that he said, I always kind of thought he was a stand-up guy. Yeah. I can't, let's see, CC lost it when he went to college. Makes you wonder, says in a disguise. I definitely know that he didn't go woke or anything like that. And I love the Twiddles cut. He's enjoying the new house though, because we don't have a cat and we let him fly around. It's a big wide open space and he's just loving it. So anyway, he gets 2 views for a workout live stream. Man, do what you do. Look, if you look at my channel versus what it was, I was getting thousands of views on a video, and now in a disguise. He's not even here. You're still already calling for the death of the bird? Seriously? Okay, I can see
that one video I had that made that went over 1K. It's my only one. It's now like 50 views away from 2K, and I don't know how.
Oh, nice.
It's the shittiest video I've ever made.
How many subs have you got so far?
I got 175.
175?
I picked up a few from being on Robert Meyer Burnett's stream last night. So that was
that's nice.
I picked up 6 today, Jimmy.
Yeah, of course you did, you son of a.
I don't care about anything else as long as I stay ahead of you.
Wow, I got over 100 on a politics channel. I really neglect. Good job, Jimmy. I'm just kidding. Trust me, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I just got also John Suntress just said we should do a video together on Word Balloon about Doctor Who. So I'm geeking out like I got offered to go on his stream. What?
That's cool. Look, hey, you do something I couldn't, and that's go out and find comic book artists and writers. Now, did I hear Englantina's doing a workout stream? No, that's Captain Cummings. My workout is I like to play sports, and I probably play sports all day. Unfortunately, I would have to show you the TV screen where I'm playing Madden football instead of showing me play it, because otherwise it's just with the thumbs. Just check, couldn't find Captain Cummings' channel. Damn, maybe
it's called WOWs now.
WOWs.
Yeah, WOWZ.
What's up with changing their DNC is now your boy Zach, and then Captain Cummings is now WOWs. What's up with changing their name?
I was going to change my name to Crispy the Biggin, but someone had already used that.
That's a different channel, though. That's different.
I was thinking of changing this back to the Grove of Eglinton, just because that way it just leaves us open to talk about anything. Let's see. Okay, so anyway, to get back to what we were talking about, so Comicsgate really did start off as this customer revolt, and yes, it did evolve into exactly what I said it was going to. I called it. They are everything I freaking said about that was going to happen. Did people come in, take their money, and run? Why, yes, they did. Did it become a whole thing about how you're a better Comicsgate member if you back this book, if you buy these comics, yes, it did. Everything I mentioned about it absolutely came true. I was definitely part of the 98% I was right on, which was one thing I said. I said the shift, this was in the debate with Ethan Van Sciver, the shift went from being about the customer to being about the person who created the comics, and it did. No customer should be obliged or feel obliged to buy any comics. So to say, oh, you're a better member of the group if you back these books rather than buy Marvel or DC or even an independent, that was kind of wrong to do. And you actually started seeing that in the Twitter and everything. Oh, no, you got to back this book, back that book, back that book.
It's not like a customer movement anymore, or what it was. It's now just a buy my book, and that's just like it's about the comic book creator rather than the comic book customer. There is no there is no customer movement anymore. There is no kind of revolt or customer union or anything like that anymore. If it ever happened, and I've had people talk to me, well, would you want to start another one? I kind of got burned by the last one. But if it ever happened, one thing I would absolutely say is keep the professionals out of it. Just done. Don't bring them in. That's not to say, of course, I hope your comic book is successful if you're writing or you're drawing your own book. That's not to say that. It's just that's what ended up happening, and I'd be very careful about that. Let's see. CG is Fund That Comics Pro. That's the only case if EVS is the only thing you watch. CG is about crowdfunding indie creators, indie comics projects, but pros gravitate mainly to EVS, says Eloise. But that's exactly what it is. It's more about the people who are making the comics rather than the customers themselves. So anywho, given a little bit of history as to what Comicsgate started off being before it became before EVS took it and made it what it was, it got brought up by Eve Ewing. She did an interview with what is this, New York Times? Hold on, let me close out about half of these channels here that I've got open, including Disney Plus. I was watching the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Well, I said it right. Oh my gosh, I just realized. Holy crap! First time I think I got that right. Okay, so sir, it's Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Get it right.
Oh, so I said it wrong again?
Yeah, you did. I forgot. Yeah, the kid in the corner's right.
I thought it was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? It's Falcon and the Snowman. It's not Falcon and Snowman. It's Falcon and Winter Soldier. Did I say Captain America and the? What did I say?
That would have been correct.
Okay, Falcon and the Snowman.
No, Captain America and the Winter Soldier is the name.
That was the second Captain America movie.
No, they in the 6th episode they changed the title to Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
They already fucking did that in the movies. Captain America, Winter Soldier. You know what? Screw this shit. I'm done. I'm done. All righty. You know what? Okay, so I haven't seen the very last episode, but let's face it, this whole TV show has been okay at best. It wasn't a great TV show. I don't even care for Falcon as Captain America because I think Falcon should be Falcon. Don't tell me it's a special thing because, okay, here's the Falcon. He finally gets his own thing. And what did they do? They say, okay, we're going to take your name away. We're going to give it this white guy's name, and we're going to call it a promotion. Yeah, don't tell me you're anything like, oh, standing up for against the man. Holy crap. No, I'm sorry. But the show was okay. It was okay. It was all right. It's all right. So anyway, getting back to our point, because I feel like we're way off. Where there was this right here, Flying While Black. Oh my gosh! Right away, you know it's going to be good. This is from the New York Times here, and I just heard somebody popped on who did. Hello to Ash on Comics. By the way, I'm calling a moratorium on any fighting between you and Jimmy. All right, you always fight in my comment section. No fighting here. Okay. Hey, how you doing, Ash?
What's going on, bud? I never fight on your channel.
There you go. Okay. So anyway, let's check this out. It's Flying While Black, 2 creators on inventing and reinventing black superheroes. And it goes to say, we asked Eve L. Ewing and Evan Narcisse to share perspectives on the politics of being a black comic book writer and black superhero in the black, and you may have missed. Okay. So, right away, the title to me feels like they didn't know that black comic book writers or artists existed before they got on. Just saying.
They didn't. The article doesn't work if they did. So they didn't.
So Christopher Priest?
Never happened.
Okay.
Right. Kyle Baker? Never happened.
Okay. Now, Christopher Priest, great writer of Vampirella and only Vampirella. Because that's what happened after 2013, right? He did Deathstroke and Vampirella, and that's all. Oy vey. Okay, so let's see what they say. You are a threat to them. So it says by Eve L. Ewing. All right, my Twitter notifications were a garbage fire. They said I had no talent, that I was a harbinger of everything that was going wrong in the comic book industry. Some of them used coded. Okay, first of all, hold on. Can we stop with coded language? I don't think anybody here uses the term coded language, but that's the most annoyingly stupid thing, and anything can happen. I get it. Look, guys can talk to each other and go, hey, she's got a couple of oranges on her, a couple of melons over there. Whoa, I would play the windshield. And yeah, you know we're talking about boobs. But this whole coded language thing from the woke, they turn anything into something bad when in all honesty, sometimes you're just not saying anything bad. Okay, so some of them use coded language like forced diversity. Other messages like a simple image of a burning cross were more direct. I would definitely have to get receipts on that, by the way. It was December 2017 and everything was a culture war. It still is. The world of comics was no different. Comicsgate had emerged beginning in 2016. Yeah, okay. A loose conglomeration of hashtags. No, there was just the one, and I guess move the needle. YouTube channels and Twitter accounts that derived glee from targeted harassment of women, trans people, and people of color that included real people like me and fictional people like the character I'm best known for writing, a black teenage girl from Chicago named Riri Williams, who enters the valiant fray of Marvel superheroes under the moniker Ironheart. Okay, right now let's pull through some of the problems and the mistakes that lady made writing that article. Okay, so you guys might not know, but she was in the comic book Iron Man at the time that the movies were really kicking ass. And one of the things we're saying was that you're going to have new readers go into the comic book shops expecting to see a Tony Stark clone, and instead, hey, look, there's Ironheart, Riri Williams, which is somebody that none of the readers had asked for. As a matter of fact, being a part of that group at that time, I can honestly say that most of us, of course, all movements have their trolls. Most of us were saying, okay, Ironheart's fine. Ironheart's a decent name. Put her in her own freaking book and bring back Tony Stark. Little did we know what bringing back Tony Stark meant, and it kind of sucked also. All righty. Anybody have anything to add on to that?
Well, I was going to say real quick. Yeah, I saw the video Zach did on this. And and when he got to that point, all that crap she was just saying, and saying how then he goes, no, it wasn't that. And he pointed out the article. Hey, Marvel, you should get her to write, Riri Williams. She has the same hair, and she's black, and she's from Chicago.
Okay, and, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, so I said, so that's somehow that became targeted harassment.
We're gonna get to that, and I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told you one of your first comments on my channel, sir.
No, I know what you're gonna say, but I said if you agree with somebody, I agree with that take.
Okay,
I did then, I do now.
Okay, one of the things I used to tell people, and Eric knows that I was going to say this, is I want to hear what you have to say. I don't want to hear what DNC has to say because I can watch his video too. So by all means, you knew I was going to say that too, didn't you?
Yeah, it's because you got the same 3 clapbacks.
I do. You know what? But they work in every goddamn situation.
Well, 98% of the time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, so.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I think you said no one asked for it, but we never asked for the Fantastic Four. They just popped up one day. We never asked for the Kree Scrolls. We never asked for the Black Panther. They just came out. So
yeah, but you know the difference between that and Riri
they were their own character. I know
in their own books. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Right. I mean, it's just a new character. It was just like a rough period where everything was changing for Marvel, and they eventually went back. So it's not like a big deal anymore, I think, because now she has her own book.
I'd like to add on that though, is the Fantastic Four had to earn their position. They didn't just have a comic guaranteed to them and been like, you're going to like these characters or we're going to keep shoving them down your throat. And if you don't like them, tough. We're just going to keep making these books and rebooting them until you give in. Riri Williams had a red carpet laid out for her, and there was no amount of failure that was too much that they're going to make movies about this girl, and her comics fail harder than just about anything.
Fail harder than Captain Marvel.
But
right, Stan Lee's created hundreds of characters that failed, and they just said, you know what, fans aren't resonating, move on, and they did.
Go on ahead, Jim.
But on the other side, they did use the Fantastic Four to prop up the new characters because Fantastic Four was their flagship title. So whenever they wanted to bring in a new character, if they didn't think it would work on its own title, they just put it in the Fantastic Four.
And do you know what happened?
No. That's not.
Do you know what would happen?
That's what happened.
In all honesty, what they did was they would do that. As a matter of fact, in the 3rd issue of any new title, who would appear, Eric?
Why, I believe it was Spidey time.
There you go. That's right. So yeah, Marvel promoted the character. That's different than what Ash is talking about.
But you know what those characters that guest starred in like Fantastic Four never did? Say, I'm better than you, and then go to Latveria and conquer it.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Come on. She was written like a Mary Sue character. She had no flaws. As a matter of fact, at one point in time, she had a teacher who was so supportive it pissed her off enough that Riri Williams looked at her and got mad that she wasn't being called a racist, or she wasn't being told that she couldn't achieve because she was black.
I think that was just misunderstood because like it's like I said this before on your channel like years ago that it was like a kid or you're getting called into your boss's office for a specific reason, and so you think about what the reason could be. So you come up with this whole scenario and figure out how the conversation is going to go. But when you go in there, it's a totally different situation. So you kind of like that. But the kid was in that situation, so she kind of like pushed it.
And who wrote that?
It's not because of that. Jesus,
now, I swear to God, if he got arrested for killing your goldfish, you'd pay his bail.
It's not because of that. Come on.
Can you get arrested for killing a goldfish? But yes, Brian Michael Bendis wrote this black girl to look at her teacher and get mad because the teacher was not calling her or telling her that she was worthless. That's what happened. Riri Williams in issue number 8, I believe it was, talked to her teacher and did not get the racist answer she wanted. Now, Bendis wrote this page out. Bendis could have just had the teacher be racist, but no, he made it freaky by having Riri Williams get mad that the teacher wasn't racist.
Yeah, the teacher was actually being a good teacher and not victimizing her for her skin color. And yet Bendis wrote that story still with Riri as the hero of the story. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's such a bizarre thing because I don't really think Bendis is like a race baiting type of writer. But in that particular issue, you're like, what the hell am I reading? This is so weird.
Bizarre. K. Blonde says if they got CG, they abide by the harassment and drama that happens all the time. That is the cost of the hashtag on your project now, says K. Blonde. Now, in the disguise is saying it might have worked if they did not write her as a psychopathic villain. That was where that issue we're talking about is where that all came from.
I really enjoyed Ironheart.
Okay, let's see. Well, and if they would have failed, they would be gone. Then that's talking about the characters. See, Stan Lee, Marvel Comics had a lot of, especially in the 70s, comics that just bombed, and they would go away. Incredible Hulk, by the way, was one of the ones that was not doing well. So he when DC put a clamp on how many titles Marvel could put out. That was one of the reasons why the Incredible Hulk had to team up, and you ended up in, what was it? Strange Tales, right?
Tales to Astonish.
Tales to Astonish. Thank you.
And remember,
Strange Tales was Doctor Strange and Nick Fury. After
before that, it was Human Torch, then the Torch and the Thing with Doctor Strange, and then Doctor Strange or the Thing and Torch got run after 134, and Nick Fury started in 135.
And that's what happened. They either were canceled or they got mushed into one book with somebody else.
Yeah, because at the beginning they were only allowed to publish 8 a month, so they to give the illusion that they had a full line, they did 16 bi-monthly titles. And I think it eventually got bumped up to 12, which allowed them to do the Marvel Tales, Marvel Collector's Item Classics, and then by that time they were phasing out. They phased out some of the romance things and lesser selling titles. But
poor put upon Eve Ewing. She has only had an academic job and been able to find people to publish her future writing.
Yeah, but she can only afford to cut half of her hair.
I know, right? That's horrible. She couldn't go the full Sideshow Bob. So, okay. So let's see the hashtags. We only had 2 YouTube channels. Woohoo. Twitter accounts. There were a lot of people, by the way, in that movement. This is something I'm going to give to her because I did see this a lot. People would go over and say something. And when somebody from the other side would fire back, oh, look what they're saying to me. Oh my gosh. Can you believe it? Woo. We had that on our side. We had the ain't I so put upon kind of thing going on here as well. I'm like, bullshit. You went over and you freaking insulted them first. Why are you even acting like this? So Anyway, it goes on. As a black woman, I'm not a big fan of anything that begins with as a black man, as a black woman, as a white man, as a white woman. Just say your piece. You're a freaking human being. With an established public internet presence, I was used to harassment. I had some tried and true strategies: block, mute, ignore, and go do something else with your day. But there was something fundamental that I didn't understand, and it bugged me. Of all the things I had said and done in public, of all my commentary about policing and politics and education and media, nothing had attracted a firestorm like the one prompted by the mere rumor then I might be writing Ironheart, because as Eric pointed out, that DNC pointed out, there was literally an article that said, we want her to write this character because she has the same hair. And people are like, can't we get somebody who knows how to write a comic book because they write comics? Wouldn't that be an interesting thing? Why? Why are we looking for the worst of the worst and or out of nowhere people to come in? For fuck's sake, Ta-Nehisi Coates has been ruining Marvel for how many years now? He had Storm, one of the most understanding people in the Marvel universe. Go read Claremont's run. He had Storm being a freaking racist. That's who they were getting. So yeah, when we hear that somebody wants to bring on somebody because of their hair, yeah, of course. We're going to go, wait a second. This sounds like more bull crap.
Jimmy, are you going to defend Ta-Nehisi Coates' writing?
No.
I like the way you said it. No. So she goes on, why this? Pretend stories about girl who flies around the city and shoots energy beams out of her armored supersuit. This was the thing that made them so angry?
Hold up.
Anybody want to take this? Okay, go on ahead, Jimmy. You got it.
I just thought that was just this total fallacy. They're trying to subdue the audience reading whatever article that is, just to make them think, oh, that those people are worse than they actually are. No, we're just pointing out that kind of sucks.
Also, I would go to say that just by looking at Eve Ewing and the only half of her hair was shaved, the whole 9 yards, I don't have to read her opinion on any of the stuff that she brought up. I could tell you what it is because just by looking, because we've heard it before. And it's the same, you really haven't looked into this kind of opinion that most students at Berkeley nowadays have. So yeah, we don't care about that. Another thing, and I've said this before, we talked about this before, if a writer cannot make a girl who shoots laser beams seem as if they're a three-dimensional character, then that's bad. We want that. We need to believe in these characters so we are affected by their stories. If all you believe these characters to be are these two-dimensional things, you're going to write a two-dimensional character and you're going to suck at it, okay? That is my piece on what she just said right there. Okay, let's see. Writing for Marvel seemed to be about the least political thing I've ever done. To me, this was about fun. It was the stuff of youthful miracles and shiny new bike and unlimited arcade tokens rolling one. More than anything, I was concerned with the essentials of writing something decent. Riri had an origin story furnished by the writer Brian Michael Bendis and the artist Mike Deodato. She was a teenage genius who had tragically lost loved ones to gun violence and was now attending MIT. My job, as I saw it, was to puzzle out the deeper elements of who she is with and without her armor. What fears and desires motivate her? What are her quirks and flaws? Who are the people in her life who love her? And in all honesty, I myself, and I know JSG, both did videos praising the fact that she did that. She was not half bad.
Well, she was also kind of almost set up for failure. I mean, what can anyone really do with the Riri property, the way that character was set up? So I also give her props for trying to instill something. But literally, we have a character that's based on being a victim. All my tragic, I had not just one parent, but two parents killed to brutality or violence. Oh, okay. And then, but literally, you're smarter than Tony Stark. You can build better equipment than him out of like a tool shed. Like this, she can build billion-dollar machines out of some supplies in a college classroom. Like, why is this woman like not the richest person, like the richest woman on the planet already? Like, why is she still kind of running around like, oh, I'm still kind of failing all my problems? I just don't get this character. I don't relate to her in any way. I don't think anyone else relates to her in any way because it has nothing to do with skin color. It just has to do that she's not really a real human being living in a real world. She's sort of just a billboard to promote ideas. And those ideas aren't often why most people buy comics.
But Iron Man also built his suit in a cave.
Yeah, and he's a billionaire. Notice how he runs Stark Enterprises and he does all these things. What does Riri do?
Well, okay. I'm gonna say a couple things on that. The character, whether or not there was potential there, that an Eve Ewing may have done a passable, decent, whatever, Ironheart. But if you wanted to make that character somebody that longtime fans that don't just rubber stamp every SJW story they read because it's who they are, then Eve Ewing might be a good writer, but she wasn't a good enough comic book writer yet to be the right person for that job. Simple as that.
Yeah, no, she's a poet. They hired a poet to come in and write comics.
The person that they let write intros to Women of Marvel, a bunch of people that couldn't sell a comic to save their lives, and they haven't this time either. Like Louise Simonson probably could have done it, or God forbid, a male writer who.
What? You're crazy.
Yeah, fiction writers can write all kinds of things.
No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong because if you're a man, you can only write men. If you're a woman, you can write anybody.
Oh, I think that's right. I forgot. We're still in current year.
I think that there was definitely stuff you could have done with Riri. Like, I still think to this day, Zach, our boy Zach, his little treatise thing that he did on his channel back in the day about how to fix Riri Williams was genius. I love that. I'm like, oh my God, I would have been a fan of this character.
Well,
but there's no way Marvel had the political willpower to go through making her a villain and having this journey. She's got to fit the pigeonhole that they created for her. And so she can't ever break out into anything that makes sense. She can't become a rich billionaire success story because that shatters everything that she was created to represent. So now we've got this character who's one of the smartest people on the planet, can do whatever she wants, but somehow writers are forced to make sure she's always a victim somehow and is always kept down. She just can't succeed because reasons of social injustice in this world.
The article goes on to say, I know I had to figure out how Riri might see things as someone who grew up in a hyper-policed community, include her thoughts on who gets labeled a criminal. The page pictured above. Okay, so yeah, I can't show you that, but anyway. Once you figure let's see, Riri transitions from that super aggressive stance with her first down to a more gentle and empathic stance. To go down on one knee to talk to a child. Okay, this is something that you're going to see in a video done by JSG. He said. So I'm going to point that out.
Yeah, but what they didn't tell you is the national anthem was playing in the background.
Let's see. Okay, so it goes on to say the page pictured above is my remix of the iconic superhero landing pose. Riri transitions from that super aggressive stance with her fist down to a more gentle and empathic stance. So, of course, this is her reinvention. In the history of comic books, nobody has ever landed and then stopped going and talked to somebody, much less a child.
Well, her history of comic books is a couple of, back issues that some people at Marvel gave her and said, here, read up and before you take this job. She doesn't know comics.
They're probably Hellcats.
In the history of comics, I read 4. It's not a reinvention. This is definitely not a reinvention. This is something that happened many times.
I just think this is the funniest thing in the world. Someone... a New York Times journalist goes, hey, so how did you reinvent Riri Williams? She goes, I made her land differently.
And then talk to a child. That's literally, this is what she's talking. This is the reinvention right here. She lands and then she gets on one knee and talks to a kid.
I have never seen a Marvel superhero or DC superhero for that matter ever take a sort of compassionate pose like that, and just seem empathetic. That just never happens. I bravo to her.
How can you be a hero if you're not a dick to kids, right?
It's so stupid.
The not so hidden secret of superhero stories is that readers want to understand who the person is when they're not suited up. Yeah, it's not a secret at all. Once you figure that out, then you can get to the titanic battles over the future of the universe. But for me, it was all good fun. Don't get me wrong. I knew that what I was doing was historic. At the time I was hired, I was the 5th Black woman writer in Marvel's nearly 80-year history. So what you're saying is big effing deal. You had 4 people before you. And also, by the way, change that to woman and then just change that to writer. Who gives a what color you are? It's not a deal, okay? All right? You know what? Gosh darn, I'm going to say something incredibly racist. Guys, you might want to clip out on this one. You might not want to be involved in this. We don't care what color you are. We just care that you're good. So stop bringing it up every 5 freaking seconds, will you? You're not the first of anything at this point in time.
That's racist.
Oy vey, goodness gracious in hell. Nobody cares except for you.
Well, the collectivists pushing an agenda care because
the ignorant people are going, oh my gosh, you're if they're keeping count, they're the racist ones, okay? Oy vey, get down, Mrs. Obama, says Grennis. I can't freaking believe that's a thing. Oh, you counted. She counted how many black people, how many black women were writers for Marvel. Oy vey. And let's remember, Captain Marvel was the first female Captain superhero movie. There was never a woman writer before Kelly Sue DeConnick.
There was never Wonder Woman.
There was never a female character before Kelly Sue DeConnick said there could be one. I would qualify that to say as a villain up to taking a life, says LK. Once she would kill someone unless accidental. I don't want to see her reformed. I hate the new trend of making psycho murderers heroes like Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's do. BS. I could care less who the person is out of the suit unless the story calls for it. This is the Hulk backstory nonsense. Let's see. Riri towards the end of her run in Ironheart, now part Wakandan. Are you freaking kidding me? I could care less as well. The only person who cares about this instance is her. Just tell a good story. Exactly.
Wait a second. I didn't read this Riri book. They really made Riri a Wakandan.
I didn't get to that far either. I stopped when they gave her a very realistic hologram of her best friend who got killed, and she was talking to it and emotionally. And I'm like, guys, you're not exploring this right, because that's a damaged person right there. You need to explore the fact that she cannot deal with the loss of her friend. There's a lot more. There was a lot more they could have done that with.
She does have autism, I think they said. And
yeah, but that's not dealing with the death of a friend. I mean, this is
I know,
somebody
but like, there's still something
grief.
fundamentally wrong with her in her head that doesn't make her act so-called normal. So, I mean, that kind of she probably would act weird to a hologram of her friend.
Now, Marania's saying the way the article sounds is it may have been edited after the fact to fit the agenda because the phrasing seems wrong. Okay, so let's see.
Well, Tehillim says he followed the whole. Oh, go ahead.
Why Riri and I were so divisive, I don't get it. I mused aloud about this to Ta-Nehisi Coates, who himself had been targeted for his writing on Captain America because he doesn't like America. It doesn't make sense. If you do this, he told me, you will face the most racism and sexism you've ever have to dealt with in your life, and you will also have the most fun you've ever had writing anything. I told him I was all in on the fun part, but I was confused by the racism and sexism part. Why are people so angry? No, Eve, he said, don't you see? They're right. I didn't see. They're right about you, about us, about these characters. He said, you are a threat to them. No, you're not. And I'll tell you why. And this is one of the reasons, one of the many, many reasons Ta-Nehisi Coates has made a great living out of being wrong all the time. unless we're talking about this, I don't give two thoughts about Ta-Nehisi Coates. I don't care about Ta-Nehisi Coates. Ta-Nehisi Coates doesn't pay my rent. Well, unless, of course, I'm talking about him. Video does well. Ta-Nehisi Coates has no effect on my life. I stopped reading Captain America. Okay. Hey, guess what? As Breen would say, as he's doing right now, read back issues. See? I've got all sorts of Captain America that I would love to reread, or some maybe I haven't read yet. We just don't give a crap, Ta-Nehisi. You're not a threat to us.
And here's the thing. To add on what you're saying, there have been black comic creators for many, many years, and decades. Decades, yeah. No one really cared. And case in point, there were so many that I didn't even know were black for years. I just read comics and I saw a name like writer so-and-so, artist so-and-so. And I was like, okay, had no idea that they were black until like 20 years later. I'd be like, oh, like for instance, I never knew Dennis Cohen was black. Just found that out actually today. I learned Olivia Copier was black like a month ago. Really? Didn't know, didn't care. It didn't matter. The work is all that mattered. He was doing good work and it was fine. And it was like, oh, he's black. Okay, moving on. Brian Stelfreeze. Holy shit, found that out today. Guy's been in the business for what, 40 years? Didn't know he's black. Larry Stroman. Didn't know he was black. All those years I was buying X Factor books back in the day in the 90s. I was like, oh shit, totally didn't know. Didn't matter. Did not matter. People have a problem with Ta-Nehisi Coates because exactly what he wrote in this article. He's a race-baiting racist who strives to create division and hate, and he lies about it. He's anti-American, and they put him on the most American comic that's ever been to destroy it, and that's why fans are mad. Has nothing to do with his skin color. The dude's an asshole.
There you go. Oh, that pretty much says it. Let's see. And when he said that, I was a kid again, walking home from the train station at night in a time before anyone had apps to track you. Before black girls snatched up from the street had any means to go viral, if you disappeared, you would be gone forever. In those moments, I always thought of one person, Batman. In my head, he was just out of view, perched atop a darkened church. I almost caught the smallest edge of his cape disappearing around a corner. I reasoned, but I turned my head a bit too late, and when I was scared and alone, that's who my mind called out to.
Do you think she knew that Batman wasn't a Marvel character?
Probably not. I would not be surprised if this falls under the things that never happened category. Superheroes reflected our shared cultural mythology and what it means to be good, to be courageous, to face unbeatable odds. In recent years, representation matters has become a refrain acknowledging how vital it is that children see possibilities for themselves in media. But unfortunately, now, because of race baiting assholes, in Ash's words, and our thoughts, race baiting assholes like Ta-Nehisi Coates has turned it into, I cannot get anything from anybody who is not the same color as I am or the same sexuality as I am. According to them, if you're black, you can't find out that with great power comes great responsibility, or you can't find out that with life comes hope, because one was said by the white man Peter Parker, and the other was said by the white man Scott Summers, Cyclops. Nowadays, you can only learn how to be heroic from somebody who looks exactly like you, and I'm sorry, that's not heroic at all. All righty, let's see. But superheroes represent something beyond that. It's only that if little black girls see Ironheart being brave, they will understand that they can do the same. They look like her. Oh my gosh, it's like exactly what I just said, except for now she's saying it. It's the superheroes serve as a shared cultural mirror of paragons of what bravery even is. Not very often, especially not in Riri Williams. I'm sorry, if any one of you guys want to jump in here, because I'm being very mouthy and wordy.
They look like her? She's wearing a helmet in that picture.
Well, also saying that Riri Williams is exactly what bravery should be. I'm sorry, no. A lot of people say, especially whenever you're in any kind of extreme circumstance, bravery or courage, I should say, is not bravery where there is no fear. With
exactly what I was thinking.
With Riri Williams, there was no fear. There was no lack of confidence. She was great out of the gate, as Breen mentioned. She conquered Latveria, from the worst villain of the DC or the Marvel universe. She conquered Doctor Doom's home country.
I just want to cry.
Yeah, okay. If
I would like
representation,
to see.
Let it out, Ash.
The thing
Let
though,
it out.
she didn't even conquer Doctor Doom's country when he was the ruler. He wasn't even there. It was his daughter he went up against, and it's like I would like to see her go up against Thanos, or let's just say Apocalypse, or even Doctor Doom to his fullest. She would get her ass kicked, and she would actually have fear at that moment.
Didn't Thanos do something to her once? Didn't she try to step up to Thanos and just like tweaked her away or something?
No idea.
Maybe. I know Captain Marvel had an incident like that, but you know what? I don't want to see that. I don't want to have to see the only villains that we can throw up against characters like this are the super most godly villains of the Marvel universe.
Well, Ash, that's if it's a Marvel comic, who else are they going to use? Arcade?
Like Iron Man comics succeeded when he was fighting things like Crimson Dynamo, and you're like,
the Melter.
Yeah, he's struggling to fight. Now Riri would just be like, oh my god, I just flick my wrist and deal with those guys.
That's the unicorn, right?
No, it's the Melter.
Melter. Okay. Anytime I say something like that, I'm always wrong. So I'll stop.
Melter.
That's a large 2%.
I know, right?
Burn, hero, burn.
Well, I talk a lot, Breen. Okay, so
we're aware.
Yes. So let's see what we got here. Oh, by the way, yes, try Mango Pepsi. It's awesome, Ash. Let's see. If representation matters, then why was it okay for her to imagine Batman? Yeah, why wasn't she going, oh, Black Panther was up there, or Power Man? Oh, maybe because nobody gave a crap before the movie.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
When was this article written?
2 days ago.
She was talking about the John Ridley Batman. Thank you.
Oh,
yeah. Batman's black now, yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Go figure. Let's see. Greetings, citizens. My name is Minority Man. I do minority things to help minorities. I advocate for minorities by showing stereotypes, but will never showcase actual issues facing them. Okay. Yeah, that is actually.
I hate this whole representation thing. Like, I need heroes to look like me. That is such a bullshit thing. You got to be so racist to think like that. Just imagine, like, the vast majority of comic fans probably being white people, at least 90%, especially growing up, like in the 80s and earlier, that would be the case. And a character like Black Panther existing. Yep. Oh, because imagine the idea that only black people want to read Black Panther because white people see it and go, it's a black guy, I just can't relate. Or Storm in the X-Men being like, as me as a kid growing up, and Storm's the leader of the X-Men, and just being like, well, I can't read this book anymore. I can't relate to some black woman leading. Or me as a boy reading any comic book that has a girl in it, because as a guy, I can't relate to a girl. She doesn't represent me, so I can't read this comic. It's so. Or how does anyone read Martian Manhunter?
I was going to say Hellboy.
Hellboy. There's another good example. Like, it's so stupid. So stupid. You know how people read those? Because they're not racist. They just don't think of people in those terms. It's the people that are the ones that are like, no, you have to be like me, and anyone that's not like me is lesser than me, and I don't want to think like that. Sorry. Get out my soapbox.
It's okay. No, it's all right. We're all in soapboxes today, except for Brain, who is just reading back issues.
Also, back in the 80s, if you look at it, one of the most popular X-Men was Storm. And she doesn't look like the majority of the people who are reading X-Men anyways. So how did she become one of the most popular? Oh, I don't know. She probably had a good character.
Yeah. She was leading the X-Men without superpowers.
Yeah, I got to tell you, growing up, two of my favorite comics were Power Man and Dazzler. Seriously, I love those.
If you actually like Dazzler,
I was gonna say you're weird. You like Power Man, but
why? I mean,
I don't know. I'm just busting your balls. I never liked Power Man because he always looked weird to me, like the costume.
Oh, he got a great costume: yellow blouse, tiara, chain. Oh yeah, I mean that was badass. I dug on that. Yeah.
I like Luke Cage. I just thought Dazzler has always been weird.
It was Power Man, sir. It wasn't Luke Cage. It was.
You know what? I had a Biden moment when I was saying about Power Man, and I need to retract because
there you go.
When you said Power Man, my brain thought Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
When I was saying
I liked Wonder Man too. That in that era.
I know, and I know you do. That's kind of probably why I thought that. In his costume with all the like the jacket and stuff.
Yeah, the Hollywood.
Okay,
Wonder
now,
Man.
Ash, if you want to trash Leisure Suit Larry Wonder Man, be my guest. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's better. It beats that freaking limesicle costume that you do. Yes, it does.
At least he looked like a superhero.
He looked like a freaking.
He looked like Larry from Three's Company, the version you liked.
He looked like
he should have been the Regal
He was
Eagle.
the interior design of every Mexican restaurant in Los Angeles. That was his freaking costume.
I like the one with the big W on it, but
that's one I like, the original.
Yeah.
But
it's fine. I was only saying that to bust your balls anyway. I don't really know much about Wonder Man.
Dominic says people real and fictional. Oh, and by the way, hi Trusty, how's it going? People real and fictional are inspired by heroes because they inspire them to be better, to stand out, become different than how they originally started. They don't have to be the same. And he means, of course, racer.
Superman would not be the world's most well-known symbol. He's even okay. This is a weird thing for people who sometimes people don't know. The Superman symbol is more well-known than Jesus Christ around the world right now. And Superman would not have been the most well-known superhero if everyone thought like they did today, like, oh, they don't represent me. It's like around the world. Go to Europe, go to the East. You're just like, a lot of them are brown, so he wouldn't be as popular if we thought about that today. Thought about what we think about today in the past. Like, I don't think it matters. It just matters about their character.
Bad Comic Reviews saying only Kryptonians can write Superman. Yes. By Ash's example, how does anyone in the West enjoy manga? Or is it manga? Manga.
It's either or.
Let's see. I was just trying to make a joke about how they write black characters. Sorry, says Spiffy. Well, yeah, no, you nailed it, I think. Eddie's saying this is some racist crap. So fucking exactly. I don't know why I kind of I said the F word, but not the S word. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Maranya saying my favorite superhero of all time is Iron Man, who's a straight white rich male. The only characteristics we share is white and straight. By today's standard, I shouldn't like the character. Exactly.
Well, no, by Christopher Cantwell's, then you shouldn't like the character.
Let's see. Did you X-Men? You mean the explicit civil rights book? Oh, yeah. I need a Dagger and Dazzler comic, says Justin. Same outfit. Only Canadians should be writing Wolverine, the most culturally appropriated minority in Marvel history. Let's see. Wonder Man is cool. I like the tank top costume the most. That's the
tank top and the mullet. Yeah,
the West Coast Avenger. Right?
I'm gonna put that in the late '80s, I believe.
Yeah,
okay.
That's
We're gonna have to talk about best and worst Wonder Man costumes one time, just to make it its own video.
That'll be a quick one.
You can do that. You can do that with Wolverine as well.
Let's see. I like red safari jacket Wonder Man look the best. Yes. Followed by the black sleeveless unitard.
Who's saying this?
Maranya.
Maranya's saying that? Yeah,
yep.
breaks my heart to see her be wrong twice in the same comment.
Oh, yikes.
Smoke.
Damn, man.
Whew.
Oh, there go my snickerdoodles.
I know, right?
Someone's going to be in the corner soon.
You do not deserve the cookies this time around. All righty. Let's see. God, how long-winded is she? Holy shit.
Well, she's
okay,
a
we're
writer,
on the we're on the last bit. We're on the last bit of her part. Then it goes on to the other guy. We'll do the other guy whenever I get my internet back. Let's see. For example, in one of my favorite panels from the series, I wanted to show unbridled joy Black kids from Chicago would feel if they got to meet Ironheart and experience flying for the first time. It's important to me to push against the adultification of Black children and show them being silly and having fun. This is also a full circle moment because early in the story arc, Ironheart catches the boy in the green committing a petty crime, but instead of punishing him, she wants to help him. All right. Let's see. So what crime was he committing? And okay, let's see what else it goes on to say. If kids who are scared and alone call out in their hearts of hearts for protection, and they face and the face they see in their mind's eye is a Black teen girl from the south side of Chicago, or a Muslim Pakistani American nerd from Jersey City, Kamala Khan, or a illegal alien from Arizona who could fly, walking Taurus known as Falcon. If those faces become cultural stand-ins for the ideals we strive for in our society and the ways that Superman, Batman, and Captain America have been for generations, man, if I was a white supremacist, that would make me mad too. Holy shit, Taki mushrooms. She just dropped the white supremacy bomb. Anybody want to take this, or shall I go?
Well, I was going to put it in a context of entirely different until that last sentence. That, okay, it's Eve viewing us of a generation of writers that want comics to literally, like they say, be the world outside your window, something that is so rooted in realism that it could really happen. And then she went and became a complete, if she was 99% racist, that last sentence pushed it to 100.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a white supremacist now if you prefer 80-something-year-old iconic characters to these two-dimensional Mary Sue, self-insert, borderline useless characters because they've never had a good writer on any of them, because it's never been required of them. Then how many F-bombs do we have left in this stream?
Do them all.
I'm too polite. Miss Ewing, you are wrong. Now, back to Iron Man 92.
Back to Iron Man number 92. Okay. Yeah. So here's something that I've noticed. I called out a guy for it. He didn't show up on the last live stream we did, where he brought up this, I don't understand the whole keep politics out of my comics argument. And I pointed out because he's lying to himself if he thinks that was the argument. And I did a live stream, invited him on. He didn't show up. But it was to show the fact that they don't listen. This person here thinks it's a white supremacy thing because they think it's because color. They always put everything. Ta-Nehisi Coates definitely. So if E-Viewing is buying into this, I'm going to assume, I could be wrong, but I'm going to assume that she puts everything in the context of race as well, instead of actually listening to us say they're writing these characters poorly. You got the job based on a hairstyle, Eve. The character is a bad character the way it was written, period.
Of course she is. How else would you be working at one of the big two today? You have to think like that. Mm-hmm. If you don't buy into the whole victim mentality, there's no room at the end for you.
And they don't want to hear the actual criticism.
Because they don't have to.
And we heard it. We get this. Well, it would be better if Jane Foster had her own identity. It would be better if Riri Williams had her own book and we brought back Iron Man. We would always get, that would be ignored, and it would always be, you just don't like so-and-so. I've been doing this since, I think it was 2016. I've been doing this whole cultural thing. And this is, I've said back then, and I'll say it back right now. You're full of shit. Anytime that happens. Once again, if anybody ever calls you out, calls you racist or something, just tell them that don't be freaking stupid. We're having a conversation here.
Why would they want to listen to people like us when half of comics Twitter has their back, all of big tech has their back, most of the social media outlets have their back, their bosses at Marvel and DC have their back, and they can just insulate themselves in that bubble where skill is so far down on the list of requirements for you to have to write these things that you'll never need it, because any criticism can just be ended by "you're a racist," and all the trained seals and bobbleheads agree with them.
Yep.
Well, there's a reason SJWs and progressives and all that, like they always want to censor or ban speech, and then that's the reason why they don't want their ideas challenged. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about being on their side, right? So they can make arguments that have no logic. They can make arguments that are immoral. They can, everything that they can do can be 100% self-serving, and it works if no one can challenge it. If we can just accept it, that's the way that it is, and as soon as you put it out, if you allow it to be challenged, and then you can have the court of public opinion and all that thing, they can be then in a realm to be shamed, to be like, that's a stupid idea. They can't have that, which is why, of course, they use that as the biggest weapon against you as well. So that's 100% why about the challenging in the comics and stuff. They know everything that we challenge them with. They know, but that's not their intent. Their intent is to be self-serving, not that they don't actually think they're delivering a good product. They think that they're delivering a product that serves their self-interest. And when we criticize, whoa, the thing that you're advertising that this is a good product, that you're making good comics that fans want to see, and we're calling out your bullshit. They can't have that. And so it's just, well, we'll just shut you up. You're racist. And they got to find other ways. They got to be disingenuous about their actual motives, because they can't. They're being... It serves just me. The world revolves around me is never a good argument. And even the most self-serving people understand that.
Yeah. So anyway, the article, she goes on to say, well, I don't listen to the haters. I pay attention to my fans only, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. There's another guy on there. We'll do that at another time. We've been 70 minutes here, so I think that's well covered. Let's see. Black Panther was created by Lee and Kirby. How dare they create a hero that doesn't look like them? Of course, Tillum brings up Superman being created by Jewish kids, although they didn't create him to be Jewish.
Yeah, ironically, they created a quote-unquote Jesus figure.
Yeah. Go figure. Actually, I always kind of figured it was more Moses. But
you didn't think Krypton's only son?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought more along the lines of the world being destroyed and him put into an ark and left out to sea to lead people to the promised land was more what Superman was doing.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, but hey, you know what? I can also see the Jesus allegory as well. Either way, it's biblical.
I don't think they were being so hard.
No,
it's very loose. So I think there's a lot of interpretation there.
Yeah. But either one, there's more to say about superheroes than a lot of people know. Modern day superheroes, and the reason why Eric is convincing a lot of people, including me, to read back issues, drop the new books, and I'm feeling that way more and more. If you look at
I'm completely dropped Marvel and DC now. I have nothing.
Yeah, if you look at my pull list, it's damn near all independents. If you're still getting Marvel and DC and you don't like to hear about independent comic books, I don't know what to tell you. My reviews are going to be independent mostly.
It's funny that Josh is absolutely their target audience. Well, although actually, what are you, 21 now, Josh?
Yeah.
You might be a little older than they aim now. But in all seriousness, and if they can't get him, who is far more tolerant and accepting, not of opposing views, but of creators that we have seen too many warts on, if they can't get him, you know, who are they gonna get? And I asked that, I posed that as a serious question. I don't think there's anybody of the four of us. I think you're the only one that reads a couple, and I think you do it for channel purposes.
A lot more these days. Excuse me.
2-3 generations of comic readers, and they've lost all of us.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Now, granted, as far as Marvel goes, I do read Daredevil and I do enjoy it. Same with Iron Fist.
Yeah, that Iron Fist book is quality.
Yeah, there are some books I do. Yeah, but I was about to say they put out 20, 30. Yeah, I think yesterday or what was it? 2 days ago they put out like 20 books.
Ash, were you watching last night when Perch did the next week's books?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was there.
Well, actually, it was a fairly light week for Marvel, but there was something like 118 or 138, one of those two new titles coming out next week, and we noticed that out of Marvel and DC, I think only one of them, the issue number was in the double digits, because DC is renumbering most of their stuff again. And Marvel does it every other month.
They should have done that with Superman, because they're redoing Superman. It's like you should have done that to start with, right as Bendis left the title.
Well,
they pretty much are.
But now it's going to be because it's no longer Clark Kent.
I think Venkman reads Marvel and DC seriously.
Oh, I know.
Great.
What they should have done is left Superman, the Superman title that Bendis left, as Superman to follow, because Superman's not going away; he's going off into space. Let that title follow him and make a new #1 for the John Kent thing. And if people want to buy that, make a separate book call him Superman of Earth #1 or something, whatever they want to. And then if it fails, it fails. If it succeeds, it succeeds. But I hate when they have to hijack things for their agendas.
So just for the chat here, obviously you guys can answer too. Are you excited about Tom Taylor's new Superman book starring Jonathan Kent? Don't speak at once, gentlemen.
Well,
I have zero
for the audience.
Well, you can answer for me. You know what it's going to be.
I have zero interest.
I said no. It's for you guys too. What are you excited at all for Tom? It's Tom Taylor, right? Are you excited for his take on Superman starring Jonathan Kent?
No, because from what I understand, it only took him 2 issues on Nightwing to start with the same income inequality, blah, 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 bull crap. So, I don't want to read mustard and bigotry, John Kent.
God,
Okay.
I would kill for a scene though where John Kent is eating a hot dog and he complains about mustard and bigotry. That would be amazing.
Or just say, someone offers him ketchup and he goes, "No, I prefer mustard."
In all honesty, I think I'm done with John Kent.
Oh yeah, they murdered that character.
I see it. I see him as a character, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't. And I'm the guy who, for the last 5-6 years now, has said there is no such thing as a bad character, only bad writers. I honestly think John Kent is a bad character. I think I've met it, because I see what Brian Michael Bendis did to an excellent character for absolutely no reason, because you've got Connor Kent in this world.
They turned him into Captain Marvel. Not the good one. The current new one.
Hey guys, I'm a head out. I got a small headache that's starting to bug me.
You got to get away from the anti-Bendis talk.
No, I'm just getting away from the bad shit that's happening to some of my favorite comics.
Okay, you go on ahead, man. We'll talk back issues next week. Okay, when I get on the internet, when your guys are gonna have a going, man. Take care. All right, be safe.
Yeah. See you, Jimmy.
See you, Jimmy.
When I am back on, you're gonna see a little bit of a change on what we talk about around here, and part of it is we are going to focus on classic stories. they did an educating Jimmy on this, but as far as like back issues, there are some classic stories I have not read. We have found out there are some things that Eric hasn't read, and of course Venkman, and we're going to be talking about a lot more back issues. We're going to be talking about the good stuff. We're going to be talking about independent comic books. We're going to just, basically steer in that direction, because as we're talking about, the new books just aren't thrilling anymore. It's not to say we're not going to tear into stuff or do our why the industry sucks or anything like that. It's just
look, they're aiming for a different audience. Like I said, they've been trying to get rid of us for years. I think they finally succeeded, and they didn't even have to do it with politics. They just did it through just a fundamental change in how the books are written, and by that I mean there are certain things that used to be commonplace in comics. Just if you had a male hero, he was strong, he was fit, he was powerful, he was in control, he was in you're not allowed to be any of those anymore. If you are a white male hero, you have to be deferential to everybody else around you. Those are the new rules. If you're a female character, if you're the hero, you're not allowed to be all the things that they were 50 years ago. Someone said something the other day and it made perfect sense. It was Joe Corallo. He goes, the reason why Wonder Woman wore a bathing suit and boots was because boys read it too. And I
liked Millie the Model. We've talked about this. We were able to go beyond our normal stuff back in the day.
Oh, also, believe it or not, women actually like looking hot. It's a shocker. I know, a shocker. We've been told this, but women like looking attractive. My ex, this little story from my ex used to put photos. She'd like rip out health magazine, like those health fitness magazines. She'd rip out like pages of like fitness models and put them on the fridge and post them up on stuff as inspiration for her to like stay in shape or get things like that. And at first I was like, this is kind of weird, but she's putting like hot chicks on the fridge. Like if you just came in the house and didn't know what was going on, you think I was putting those there, but it was her. And women want to look like fit and in shape and beautiful and whatever else, like just like men do. Men, same thing. And not all of us can look like Greek Adonises, but that's kind of why we read comics. It's a fantasy. So it used to be women could read Wonder Woman and be like, oh, that'd be awesome to be like her. No one had a problem with it until society started being like, well, that's just the man keeping you down, the patriarchy, and the male gaze. And they're like, oh, Jesus, shut up.
Right, because the audience that they're catering to has thrown in the towel on themselves. And instead of trying to make themselves better, they've got to bring everybody down to them. Mm-hmm. And when that starts happening with what we're supposed to be, perfect fantasy aspirational characters, you get a lot of the stuff you get today. And it's not compelling. It's not interesting. And I don't want to hear that. You just want to fap to it bullshit. It's if all things being equal, wouldn't you rather look at pretty people, pretty everything? That's what comics used to be.
That's what TV, movies, the whole nine yards. I mean, look, Breen, if you and I were to star in movies, we would be the neighbors. We would be the freaking quirky comic sidekick.
But we'd be the cool ones, so.
That's for sure.
I'd be the dorky one.
There you go.
Somebody has to be. You'd be the guy on Home Improvement that you only see the top of his head.
There we go. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Let's see. LK saying I just made my April order for DCBS, which is for June books. I'm getting Wonder Girl 2, Demon Days, and Catwoman regular and annual. Checkmate #1. That's it from the big two. Okay, wait. The Superman title. I was wondering what Tillian was hating. Spiffy saying he wish he could be excited about the Superman book, but just not. LK says, nope, not buying any Tom Taylor books. Are you suggesting that we buy back issues of
That's
Superman?
a Superman book you can get excited about.
There you go.
Clark leaves Superman. He quits his job as his alter ego.
All righty.
Wow.
Let's see. Tom Taylor doesn't do too badly when it comes to DC. I like Deceased. I do. I enjoy it. It's actually pretty good.
I have this theory about Tom Taylor.
Okay.
That when he writes twisted versions of characters like Deceased, right? Zombies and all this stuff, or when he writes Injustice, when it's this dark, evil Superman, when he's allowed to just go crazy with these characters and be like, yeah, just go take them completely, he seems to succeed. But when he's confined to being like, no, gotta stay true to the character, deliver what they're all about, he flounders. That's my theory. We'll see.
Well, because he gets to put too much of himself in there. If he's writing an end of the world scenario, realistically, if the world's coming to an end, it's just like when Kirkman just went full SJW with the Walking Dead series and became more concerned about checking boxes, which I'm guessing wouldn't be a huge priority in a zombie apocalypse. And even in the last Deceased 7 issues, in issue 3, they did have that class system where they were trying to keep the rest of the survivors down, economically. And again, I said, at this point, it would be, if you're trying to save the world, even if it's in your own self-interest, it's all hands on deck. All that shit goes out the window. And he kind of course corrected and finished normally, but I don't think he can help himself, on the regular titles.
Well, thank you very much to Nolan Nerd for the $5 super chat saying, hey, E, hey, Ash, hey, Breen, good evening, men. Is tonight Friday or Sunday, or is there not an auction? It's not an auction. Sorry, I'm just not set up for it. I'm in a dang near empty room here. I screwed up. The books are on one side. The other stuff is on the other side, not of the house, but of the city. So, I kind of screwed up.
We are going to do a Win a Dream date with Ash, though.
If you're into dreams that turn into nightmares, that might work.
Let's see. Now, I was going to read Luke right here because he basically says, I hate adult John Kent and I hate Tom Taylor books. I think the obvious answer is no. John Kent is dead to me and has been since Man of Steel #1 by Brian Michael Bendis, which is exactly how I feel. How often can John Kent apologize for his stolen land or his whiteness? Well, at least he'll be able to buy Coke. By that, I mean Coca-Cola. But yeah, we're going to be, are we going to finally talk about the Clive Barker universe? I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, I do want to start talking about more back issues and such like that. To paraphrase an old line from a long gone favorite radio show of mine, back issues, if you haven't read it, then they are new to you. If you have, shut up and read it again anyways. Yeah.
No, you should have included that in your super chat.
Alrighty.
That line is the second sentence kind of adds a little I don't know. It's just funny to me that they didn't shut up and do it. You're like, oh damn, all right.
Let's see. I'll be getting that Tom Taylor title on John S. Kent. Doesn't mean I'll enjoy it if it's fool's gold. Yeah, that is one thing. When you do a YouTube channel and you're doing reviews and everything like that, staying current is not a bad idea.
By the way, I know I'm not supposed to on this channel, but if anybody watching isn't subscribed to Tehillim, he's getting really close to 200, so let's get him there.
Alrighty. Tehillim, you want to leave your link in the comments after it's posted. That way people can find you.
Yeah, I want him to get to 201 so I can unsubscribe. I'm done.
Okay. There you go.
Ouch.
It's going to be weird next week when we're looking at E in a different room. Yeah, well, I think mainly it's just going to be like the wall is actually white, not whatever brown color this is.
You need a green screen. Have like, you know,
I was thinking
animals charging across the Serengeti in the background.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just put random images and yeah. I actually do have a green screen and I do have a blank wall. I was going to put like a shelf or something for the statues, some comics and everything, but I wanted to save a spot for the green screen. So if I needed to, wanted to put anything in there, it would work out, but I would have to remember, don't wear this shirt or anything like that. Let's see. How about a face reveal? I can auction off my Genlock 6 starting bid is $20. Okay. Yeah, I actually thought about like what would I do for if I tried to have an auction tonight, but sorry, gang. And it's not exactly nice for me either because I don't have money. I told Gail I'm your bitch now for the next week. Let's see. Read classic War Machine comics. We're going to be doing a lot of story. I know I want to do stories. We talked about doing Legends. That's Breen said it's one of his favorite storylines. Talked about doing Suicide Squad. That's also timely because of the Heroes Reborn crap that's coming out. I mean, Heroes Reborn crossover. Yeah, but we're going to be doing the 12-issue maxi series. That's a lot better. Yeah.
Of which what are we doing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, when we talk about stories, I've got some already lined up that we can talk about for the next few weeks when I get back online. When we start reading back issues, as you say, yeah. If you're up for it, I mean, I'm making plans, but of course, if you want to join in,
I said, yeah. Obviously, I don't have nearly as much time as I did 2 months ago, but you know, if I have time, and you know, I'll do as much as I can.
Well, what we could do is make sure that we don't do like one 12-issue maxi series after another. We can actually do an entire episode, I think, on the kid who collected comics. You know, you can talk.
You talking about the kid who collected Spider-Man?
Did I say the kid who collected comics?
Yes,
yes, I meant the kid who collected Spider-Man.
That would be all of our biographies.
E, did you get my Ko-Fi for Avengers 10 First Rogue? Yes. So here's where I get to hang my head a little bit. You remember I mentioned how I brought the books over here and I left other stuff over here. The other stuff I left over here were the shipping boxes, my packing tape. As you guys know, I use a lot of packing tape. So I've got everything ready to go at the other house, but here, this is the first time I've made it back here in the last week. I left all the shipping stuff. It was supposed to be moved. I thought it was moved. It just didn't get moved. So I apologize. I will be getting stuff ready tomorrow and get them out this week for last week, which is also another reason why I didn't want to do a live an auction, is because I would feel very shitty asking for any kind of money, even if it is a transaction, when I know I hadn't sent out the last week's books. So there you go, guys. I do apologize for that, but that is what happened. They are going to be on their way this week. Okay, so let's see. What are we talking about for the next week, Zach? Oh, just sub to you to Helium, but only for the next week, E. Okay, well, you can actually sub to Helium for longer than a week, so that's fine. Yeah. Or let's just talk about Teen Titans Volume 1 review. Do you have any Silver Age Teen Titans?
Now, Aqualette, are you talking about the Wolfman Perez or the...
No, that's new Teen Titans. In Aqualad speak, that's new Teen Titans. Teen Titans #1 is the
Haney Cardi.
Yep, I'll guarantee it. That's my bet on that. Did you just super chat to brag about your Avengers win? Yeah, that's gonna go up as one more that I'm like, huh. Let's see. Yep. Oh, I get it. No, E. I meant you are Gail's bitch only for a week. You're right. When you're right, Zach. Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty baller super chat though. I like that. You win the primo auction and then super chat to be like, yo, you got to.
I was actually asking people, do you want to do a big dog? Because I had like $10, $15 books already, and I was like, do y'all want the big dog? Because it's pretty damn big. And we did a mystery auction. So do you have any Silver Age Teen Titans there, Eric? Right.
Oh, don't strain yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
Lift with your legs.
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah.
Okay, so we can actually talk about Silver Age Titans.
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, check out that glorious first cover.
Oh, that is so sweet. That is one of my holy grails right there, ladies and gentlemen.
I had it. I don't have it now.
I would love that book. That
you don't have it now. You're holding it in your hand.
No, I mean, at one point I did have all the, I had that, whatever the second appearance was, like 50 something, and then I had Showcase 59, and then a complete set. We actually got a first issue in the store a couple weeks ago, and he's not listening. I marked it up. I marked it up and sold it to Jerry.
How much?
Oh, actually, I marked it up to a grand total of $60. Yeah, it was easily $100 issue, but it's didn't want to sit around, so made somebody happy. We made money, but he also had a Showcase 59, but it was beat. It was acceptable condition for me, but I'm trying not to get back in that habit, so I just put 15 on it and put it out and let somebody else get it.
I bought X-Men 266 tonight for $250. First appearance of Gambit. Now I have the first appearance of the Ultimate first heterosexual couple. Goodness, if I don't know, I'm feeling bad. I'm not making money, so if I had my books here, I'm okay. Who wants the Marvel Premiere number 50? Who wants first appearance of Power Girl? See, it's a good thing I don't have those here because I really don't want to do that. So I haven't seen the last episode. I was watching it. I haven't seen the last episode of Falcon and the Snowman. It's all right, but the whole series is all right. It's not thrilling me this time around. I don't know. I liked Scarlet Witch and Vision, but Falcon and the Snowman is just not really pushing my buttons, I guess.
Yeah, but I've only been able to watch 2 episodes so far, and I am gonna finish it. I was trying to, unlike with WandaVision, because I watch it with my buddy and his kids, but we wait till the whole thing is out and we binge through it and stuff. So I was always behind on Falcon or WandaVision, and I missed all the chatter and all the. And I was like, oh no, don't! I had to step out of the room when people would talk. And so this time I was like, I'm just gonna watch them, and then I'll watch them again when we go through. And I got 2 episodes in, and I was like, I'm just bored. I don't want to watch these twice. So I'm just.
That's what I said about the first episode. I'm watching. I'm going there's a lot of action going on, but they're not really explaining why it's going on. So.
Yeah, it's unimportant action.
Yeah.
You're just I don't care about these characters.
We need things to go boom, but it just didn't do it for me. It really didn't. I don't know. I'll watch it to the ending. There
was a really good. I saved it, but I'll post it later when I finish. But there was a really good meme someone posted about it. It was 3 pictures, what I watched, what I expected, and what I got.
Yeah.
And the first picture is what I watched, and it shows a picture of Falcon and Winter Soldier. And it says what I expected, and it shows a picture of Lethal Weapon. And then what I got is it shows a white guy bending over and kissing a black man's shoe. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to see this train wreck.
That's a good way of putting it. Let's see. Too much BLM talking points says bad comic review. You should be watching Mortal Kombat. I will eventually. I got to get back up online here. The theories got me excited for WandaVision once it was out. It was meh, but up until then it was fun, says Justin. I liked it. I'm one of the only ones I know that liked it from episode 1 on. I really thought it was good.
We talking about WandaVision?
Yeah.
So as did I.
Yeah, that's a really good show. Mm-hmm. You do need to stick with it to episode 4, and it was really smart that those first 3 episodes are short because they could have worn out their welcome really quickly. but they were important. Like once you see what's going on, once they see what's going on, you're like, oh.
See, I think the young and impatient member of our group didn't like it. No.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I was saying is that there's so much symbolism, so many things going on in the episode that you need to pay attention to. The first 2-3 episodes, you really need to watch in order to get all the little bits and pieces from. I think a lot of people could probably go back and watch it and get more out of it now, knowing what everything means.
I just thought it was very cleverly done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very clever.
I mean, but again, if you're, as you guys like to point out, I'm old. So that stuff isn't as far in the rearview mirror for me as it might be for like VENKMAN, who's, I said in his mid-30s. I mean, I said, I was watching Dick Van Dyke, not long after it had gone into syndication, when I don't even know if there was a word for it at the time. So, so I mean, I remember all that stuff. And so maybe it was easier for me to like because of that, just for the surface stuff. Because I know the way the shows were set up, VENKMAN hated that.
Yeah. Well, I remember watching Dick Van Dyke in syndication about 3 weeks ago. It's on. Which one is it on? It's on HBO Max or is it on Hulu? Well, anyway, one of the streaming services. I just started watching and binge watching. One of the greatest comedies ever made on television.
Okay, here's someone in my age bracket that said I liked WandaVision. I loved Falcon and Winter Soldier. All
right. And that is Maranya.
Yes.
The thing was, one of the things I really appreciate about WandaVision is that, I'm not a Wanda or a Vision fan, even from the comics. In the MCU, they're fine. They were there to me. I was like, Paul Bettany was a brilliant cast for Vision. Okay, I can appreciate things about it. Still wasn't like a fan. I was like, all right, whatever. This show made me like the characters. I thought there was a lot of development. It made me care about Vision. I felt like his humanity. He felt like an actual hero. The things that he was doing, I was like, that was important to me as a fan, not of these characters, but just of comics. And it's like to be able to walk away and go, I like these characters now. I care about these characters now. And so I think that's the biggest success for me of that show, on top of all the other things you guys have said positive about it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, as far as the Vision's concerned, to me, the Vision is the Avengers. I mean, from the moment he got there in issue 57, he was pretty much a mainstay for the next 20 years. And that's why, when Bendis killed him off, even though I championed that those next 5 years, one of the things that truly sucked about it was the Avengers that made the Avengers were gone, because the Vision and Scarlet Witch, since they didn't have their own title, they were the kind of the characters you gravitated to in that issue. Two of their greatest victories, like in the Avengers Defenders War, it is Scarlet Witch that wins the day. And when they're fighting Count Nefaria, who just wipes everybody out, it's the Vision that beats him soulless. I mean, those two characters are synonymous with the Avengers. And I guess since that's one of my 2 or 3 favorite comics of all time, I guess that's why I'm so much of a fan of both of those characters.
And another story we need to check out. Even an android can cry. Those the three books that are attached. Like
yes, but do they dream of electric sheep?
Yes, they do that too.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Nola's saying Zemo. I'm all about Zemo now. That coat is one of the best costume choices ever in the MCU, and I will own a replica of it for the 2 weeks of winter we get here in New Orleans. You get 2 weeks? Damn, you're lucky. And Maranya is saying, I originally was not interested in seeing Falcon and Winter Soldier at all. The mark of a great show is making someone like or care about seeing it. Well, there you go. Have a good time, Bad Comics. Take care. Be safe. And hello to, Bad Comics is out. Manny is in, I guess. Hello to Manny.
I 100% agree with you, Maranya. I had no interest in WandaVision either. And then when I saw it, I was won over. But opposite, I was looking forward very much to Falcon and Winter Soldier. And the jury's still out. I've only seen 2 episodes. So I just know where, in the middle of where I'm at, I'm kind of like, eh. And I was very much looking forward to Lethal Weapon type except superheroes.
If you don't let the messaging, the heavy-handed messaging, get you down, I thought it was pretty well done. That I was, I said, I said, watch the 6th episode, Ash, catch up, and then we can talk about it when we've all seen all 6.
Yeah, we'll be watching it not this coming week. The kids come back the following week, so we'll binge it, and that's when I'll be able to talk about it.
Well, I'll have forgotten everything by then, but
I'll remind you.
I am old, That's the only thing I don't need to be reminded of.
I didn't say a word.
I know, I just did. By the way, what did you think triggered me earlier today? I didn't realize the stream was over. I saw. I go. I was driving.
I was talking about your baseball team, and then you just stopped responding, and I was like, "Oh, I must have triggered him."
No, I remember. I answered. I said about as well as Dalton's view count when he puts a lot of effort into it.
No, I made another comment after that. Is like,
okay,
how long
I was on the expressway.
That's fine. I was.
And then I went and got Chipotle. So I didn't. By the time I saw
jealous.
I came back on and I realized I saw the part of the stream came back on, but it was something that had happened like a half hour before you ended it. And I said, yeah, I forgot that sometimes it'll jump back when it's over. It'll start replaying part of it. And I went to comment, and then I realized, oh, yeah, it's over. But no, you didn't.
I was just busting your balls about the Reds. I made a comment about,
hey, they're in lastest place.
You still don't want me to finish what I'm saying, do you?
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's done.
Oh, okay.
Now, what were you going to say, you bitch?
I was just saying, how long before the Reds have to change their name for being racist?
Oh, they had to do that in the 50s. They had to change their name to Red Legs because of the Red Scare.
Well, now, I mean, the Reds, that's a slur against natives.
Well, right now they're a slur against baseball.
Well,
Silver Age Aquaman review. So we're getting requests from Aqualad here as far as books that we need to talk about.
I would do the only Aquaman Silver Age I would really be interested in doing would be the Skeets Aparo run that have come out in 2 hardcovers. I mean, I've got black and whites of the old stuff, but yeah, they're really
silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of silver age.
Not all bad by any stretch, but Skeets tried to grow it up a little bit. And
now you could do a show. We could do a show called Silver Age Silliness, where we actually do a review or something along those lines that kind of point out the fun and the stupidity of past comics.
Like that, maybe.
Oh my gosh, there is no more of a hey fellow kids book than the Silver Age Teen Titans. It is written by older men who really, really wanted to write young kids, and they wrote, hey fellow kids, it was ridiculous.
They couldn't figure out why they were losing, why Marvel was doing so much better at every demographic, post puberty. And they would have meetings to try to figure it out. And that's how they came up with the Go-Go check covers. Was they thought that would make them seem hip.
Yeah, they would stand up. They would stand out on the newsstand. That was the reason for the Go-Go checks.
But they wanted the cool kids to go, oh, what? Maybe these are cool too now. And they said that people, that I think it was in that Untold Story book where they would have people spy on DC and leave things on their desk of things they were going to supposedly do. And turns out it was all bullshit. And the DC guys would find that stuff and incorporate that into their books.
Yeah, that's kind of that was covered in the Slugfest thing that I got to tell you is one of the best books on comic books.
Oh, that's Slugfest. I was thinking, have you read the Untold Story, that Sean Howe book? Yeah, I knew it was one of those two.
Yeah, I read both of them. They're a lot of fun. I recommend them to anybody. You want to learn a little bit about comic books. These are two really good books to read. You recommended the DC Implosion.
Yeah.
Now, the DC Implosion, as you pointed out to me before I read it, is more numbers. There's a lot of numbers games in that. So it's not just the history of, but you're getting things like Superman only moved 4,000 units in a time when 5,000 units was expected, and and they use a lot of the economics of comic books and such in the DC Implosion.
Speaking of just things along that line, have you showed this here? So Ash recognize this. Have you seen this magazine at your LCS? I
have not.
I saw that at my LCS on Thursday, Eric. I was shocked. I was my store doesn't normally carry stuff like this.
It's the same company as I said the other night that does Alter Ego and Back Issue, but this is really fun.
It looks fun.
It's like a pop culture Bible from it's like from the 50s to the 70s. There's an article on an interview with Van Williams.
Yeah, I was trying to remember these books. I got into an argument in the chat on that stream you were on, and I was talking. People were like, "Oh, it was about Wizard," and they were like, "Oh, no one wants magazines anymore." And I was like, "Jesus, Eric just picked up 3 magazines.
I know, right?
About comics."
And how old is Eric?
Well, but the point was the person in the chat was like, "Oh yeah, what were they called? Like, prove it." And I was like, "Oh, I don't remember." Yeah. Like, it's like,
I do agree with it's from from Friday night when Malin said that the internet made Wizard irrelevant, and I agree with what Perch said as a magazine, yes, but I think they were an online presence for a while.
I think the Comics Crash made Wizard irrelevant, but that's just me. Because I think people who go to stores, people who get in their car, take time out of their day to drive to a specialty store to then go look at comics on the stands, talk to other people, and buy that. They want to buy book. Look at you. You're buying these books.
I agree with Ash.
They want that stuff. They also want it to be good. But if the reason I think Wizard would fail today is because it'd be covering a bunch of bullshit and they'd have to shill for a bunch of crappy comics, and we'd all know that it's fake.
Yeah, they were shilling for better stuff or more fun stuff in the 90s.
Yeah, there was legitimate excitement, enthusiasm.
In all honesty, I think what you held up is really good because it's talking about the older stuff. I think that's probably one of the better ways you can get away with it. If you do a modern day Wizard, you got to keep up to the new stuff, and a magazine could never, stand up to the internet when it comes to the modern stuff, the new stuff. However,
I would agree.
However, why don't you could do a magazine, and you can do there you go. You can do a magazine and a YouTube channel of sorts. If you were to interview somebody about what their ideas were when they came up with certain things, or what were the things that inspired them, what was it that really got them into comics, what are their favorite outside of comics inspirations, and so forth and so on. So if you're talking about the past never goes, it never gets old, basically, is what I'm trying to say, because let's face it, you're always going to have a fan of something that has already come and gone. Some people like myself and Eric, we may remember things from our childhood that, and some people may be coming about them and new, like they've never seen the old Incredible Hulk TV show, which I used to watch. Or why do we say that Linda Carter's the real Wonder Woman when she's never been in the movies until the very ending of the worst Wonder Woman that has ever been put on any screen? It was, you could do that kind of thing, but I would also, and this is just me, if I were to do a magazine like that, not only would I have these nostalgia interviews, but I would get writers and artists to make comic strips.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea. I was just thinking of also putting. Oh, go ahead. Finish your.
Not necessarily comic book pages, but comic strips. So you would have, granted, comic book pages, and then maybe you could package them and put them out there. but that would be something that would bring fans in for the new content that they would not be getting. And yeah, you could have a derivative of some sort of character, but it would be interesting to see what people would come up with new.
No,
it would also be interesting to get publishers to work alongside you, right? Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, IDW, and throw in some work into your magazine, whether it's for like preview purposes, marketing, put in some original material. Look, hey, you got a new comic coming out? Do a 2-page little short story in our magazine featuring this character. Comes out a couple months before your comic, gets eyeballs on it, gets excitement. And then for the purposes of like, well, why does anyone care to buy that magazine? Well, let's think about this. What if that character becomes popular? The first appearance was now in Wizard magazine. So you have an incentive towards comic collectors to want to pick up physical copies of these books, which is important. And if you have the content to back it up, they're not going to regret buying it because they enjoyed having it. And it's a win-win for everybody. I just think that people don't know what they're doing today as far as media content. And the industry is kind of on a bad place. So who really wants to buy magazines about new books? Like, hey, look, do you see what Avengers is doing? Yeah, here's a whole article about Heroes Reborn.
I honestly don't know what the Avengers are doing. So,
but you don't care.
Yeah.
So this magazine, so my friend Jerry writes for it, and he did an article on the Maestro, the original Maestro story. So he got to interview Peter David and George Perez. He forgot to press a button or something and did not get the entire any of the Perez interview the first time.
Oh,
he had to go back and beg for more of his time, which he was kind enough to give him. But he's got a Punisher article coming out from the first miniseries. Stephen Grant was more than happy to talk to him. Mike Zeck had no interest whatsoever. And that's something he's run into a few times. I don't know. So, yeah, some of the guys are more than happy to, relive whatever. But yeah, Zeck has no interest in talking about comics anymore, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Wow.
I would I would love to talk about his disinterest in talking about comics.
Right?
Seriously, like why would you feel this way? What is it that what switch flipped? What was it that made you say, you know what? This industry that I did so many great things in, I'm no longer interested in. Not only am I not interested in being a part of, but I'm no longer even interested in speaking of. There's a story there that should have been chased down.
Or he's just, doesn't want to live in the past. Why did you? And my favorite band, like the band that's my icon, they're all still alive, and they've begged the lead singer to reform the band for almost 40 years now. He straight up refuses to do it. He's been making music this whole time, but he has no interest in reforming the Jam. You can ask him, and he'll give you some BS filled answer. But I said some people just don't want to look back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Did Zeck ever do many interviews, says Justin? Let's see.
That I do not know.
Seems like Jason Aaron has written Avengers only to turn She-Hulk into She-Bulk. It's ridiculous what they're doing. Yeah, one thing I want to do also is, and gosh, I do this to myself. I make plans and I write them down. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. And I give myself far too much to do. But one thing I want to do is do a little video essays, because I've never actually written my stuff down before I started saying it. One of the things we've talked about briefly, I really want to go into, because I still don't feel I've gotten my voice out there about it, is how characters are written wrong. And I think what I'm doing is I'm reconstructing if I wrote, because I see a lot of characters. I'm like, you're not finding the voice. Ta-Nehisi Coates most definitely hasn't found the voice of Captain America. And as a matter of fact, I would go on to say that Marvel hasn't found the voice of Captain America in 20 years, damn near. So I was actually thinking that was something I wanted to do.
Has Marvel done a even a halfway decent Captain America since Brubaker left?
No. Oh, let us think about that for just a second.
I thought we did.
Yeah, we gave it all the thought it needed. Should I ask the creators what their plans are in the past? Because then those and what their plans for when the past are in those interviews. Okay. Black Lotus just got notified. Let's see. What do we got? Probably his fellow creators burned him from time to time, talking about Zek.
It could be, but I said, Jerry's going to get a microphone really soon, and we're going to have him. Yeah, and he wants to start doing these. First time we have him on, we need to ask him to, if he's got any, because I'm sure there's probably more people that he's talked to that I'm not familiar with, because he's done several articles at this point, so he's gotten to talk. He did a Bear and Blood article, so he got to talk to. I don't think he got to talk to Roy, but he got to talk to some people, about that. And I'd be curious to know who has been, really gracious with their time, who's been excited to do it, who kind of just did it to get it out of the way, and then guys like Zek who just won't do it at all. I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that is, like I said, there is a conversation to be had. Yeah. That is really cool. It's kind of a Steve Ditko kind of thing. Steve Ditko got so freaking fed up with the whole industry, he kind of became a hermit as far as all that was concerned. Still did work, but he wouldn't go and he wouldn't talk to anybody or anything about it.
One of the last 2 or 3 shows I went to in Cincinnati, it would be like 2018 or 19, Zek was there. He was, affable. Wasn't overcharging to sign his stuff, and so I don't know if it's just one of those things where he doesn't like doing interviews, or if he's just become reclusive in the last couple of years. I don't know. Gotta be a question I have to remember to ask him.
One to bring that up, Zach's saying he heard a terrible Neil Adams story that he would handle and sign guests' comic books with sloppy, greasy hands that he hadn't washed after eating. Ew. Shit Neil Adams does. Rick Remender had a good Captain America comic run, says Dominic.
I'll defer to Dominic on that. I wasn't impressed by it, but again, I'd been reading Captain America since 1975, and have gone back and read everything up to 1964. To me, Remender's run doesn't stack up with that, but I could be wrong.
One thing I'm noticing about Rick Remender, and I could be wrong, but it seems to me Rick Remender is a good writer, but not a flexible one. And what I mean by that is that he will write the characters as he wants them to be rather than what they should be. And so he'll come in sometimes and just be radically different.
I think he took him to space, didn't he?
I don't know. I didn't read those, but I'm just saying, I've seen like this crazy pitch that he had for X-Men, and I was like, oh my God, thank God he never got X-Men, because that pitch was like bonkers.
Yeah, and it might have interfered with that really great X-Men stuff we've got now.
I know, but the stuff of his that I've read, I'm like, you are a talented writer. Like the framework of writing and storytelling and you understand all this stuff. If only you could come in and like go, okay, this character is this way and stay true. I think that my theory is that's where he fails for a lot of people. I haven't read enough of his Marvel or DC stuff to 100. I don't know if he's read DC, but his independent stuff, it works because he's not messing with anyone's characters.
Well, I think he did some of the writing during the Marvel era that I did champion. I'm just Jason Aaron wrote stuff in that era.
Oh yeah,
it's just like a lot of these guys, did really good work from 2005 to 2010, and it was almost like they no longer felt they needed to be good.
Oh, let's see. Zdarsky did write a good Black Captain America in The Invaders. And yeah, I could see him. I could see him on Captain America. That wouldn't be bad. And his Daredevil run's pretty good. I like that one.
Well, he also had. I'm sorry, actually, he also had, in Spider-Man Life Story, he had Cap basically, turn on America, sort of, kind of during the Vietnam War. To just say, I'm for neither. And to me that was kind of out of character for
yes, it was,
especially in that era.
Yeah. So there you go, gang. We've been about 2 hours at this. Talked about some interesting things.
We haven't even made it to Buck Rogers yet. You can't stop now.
I can and will, because I've got to break this computer down and go home because I'm getting tired.
Well, and what else do you have to do when you get there? Text me your address.
Yeah, well, I've got to find it out. I actually sent a message to Ashley. Get your mom, because they work together now. Tell them I need it so I can order this Wi-Fi. I guess do they sell them at Walmart, Wi-Fi adapters? Because I need one to get the internet in my house.
They might. Your best bet is Amazon, but of course you got to get on.
Yeah, well, I can have them send it here, and I could just come and get it. So yeah, I guess.
Now, how do you find this new place? Do you just stay on the street corner and let a family member pick you up and take you the rest of the way?
Dude, I know how to turn left at the road with the hooker on it, and then turn right at the crack dealer. All right, I know how to get to my house. I just don't know the address that we're at. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
It's the house with the big boob painted on the garage, just like all my other houses. That's why I have trouble with the HOA, and that is why anyway. But yeah, that's really how I get to things. I don't know. Gail is the one that retains addresses. I know it's because it's by that one building. We did that one thing at that one day, and then you turn left at it.
I had somebody ask me, for my address, and I started to give them the one from the house I left in 2004. So, who am I to say?
Get the AC 1200 USB wireless adapter. Okay, AC 1200. Let me check this out. AC 1200. AC. This isn't one of those things that like wireless Wi-Fi adapter.
Okay. You don't need anything fancy. You just want to get something that's USB and it's wireless N.
Okay, this says
the letter N is a Nancy.
Yeah, this says NetDyne USB wireless Wi-Fi adapter AC 1200 dual band 5 gigahertz 2.4 gigahertz 867 Mbps. I don't know, is that
megabits per second? So that's what the 1200 is. So the higher that number is, the faster that it can process.
And what's this N thing that you're saying?
N is the technology. There's different versions of wireless technology. The current most used one is wireless N, as in Nancy.
I'm not seeing anything saying wireless N.
It may not say that because it's so ubiquitous nowadays. So it just
okay, well, this one is $25.87. NetDyne. I don't know if that's a brand or not. I don't know these things.
God, it's nice to be out of evil Black Cat's crosshairs for once.
Let's see. Wait, you just moved in and you got a mural of yourself on the house? Oh, he's been firing off a couple. I said I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat. And he goes, I don't think it'll be shinier than the original. That was a good one. I like that one. That was a good one. All right. Let's see. I still have to, that was actually pretty good. I drew a boob on the garage door. That's funny. That's one that's getting me a little bit more that I think about it. So that's pretty good, man. That's pretty awesome. I still have to look forward to snail mail for my new address, and I've been here since last November. Yeah, that does happen. I have a Netgear router, which can do both hardwire, Ethernet, and Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'll get this settled, and this is only $25. If this NetDyne is okay, I guess. Let's see, what's this one? This looks like the same thing, but this is the same AC 1200 wireless USB Wi-Fi adapter dual band 5.8G 867 mil. That's the same thing, but what is Wi-Fi dongle complies with 802? What is that?
802 is also another
that?
one of the network technology. 802.11. So
That's
it's just another Wi-Fi thing. It's a standard. That's all that means.
This says Wi-Fi dongle. What the hell is dongle?
Dongle is just an accessory that like plugs into your computer rather than being like inside your computer. So
okay, alrighty.
Usually it'll just.
This looks like the same, but $5 cheaper. I'll get that one.
Yeah, I would probably. I mean, they have like the ones that are just like a small little nano plug, so you can just stick it. I would probably get one of those rather than the ones with the big old antennas. You don't really need.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I just want a little like the thumb thing, because I seen those, the ones with the rabbit ears. Yeah, holy shit! Anglatina's bald. I know, right? I didn't hide it with my hat this time and fool you guys, right? Anyway, gang, I don't know, Brown, but for $25 you can try it. If it doesn't work, return it. Yeah, I think I'll do that, and hopefully we'll be all good for next week. Except for we won't be all set up, but I'll have something up and such in the background and everything. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Ash, thank you for coming on. Eric, as always. Jimmy had to drop out earlier, and thank you very much to everybody in the chat for keeping the conversation going. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night.
Good night, kids.